So this is the nut that we are talking about, which we need to construct. So this nut here has this part and that part, which we'll call across flats, and there are threads inside this. So there's an order in which we are supposed to do this. If you look at it here, there's a thread. The thread has got a depth. So if I put it like this, this is flat. So this is flat and that is flat at the bottom. So what we need to do first is to do all those calculations that are required when constructing a nut. So I'm going to take this one away so that we understand that now. Firstly, we know that this M32 is a thread size. So when we draw, we need to get half of 32, which is 16. Then we draw the first circle, which needs to be dark. So we're going to measure 16 in this case. Okay, that's 16 for the M32 nut. So you're going to be drawing this dark circle. We're going to draw this dark circle. The first circle is done. Now there is the thickness of the threads that we spoke about, and you can see that there's a depth that goes in here for your threads. So there's a formula for that. It is D is equal to M, which is your thread, times 0,1. That's a formula that we must always remember. So we have 32 in this case, multiplied by 0,1, which gives us 3.2. Now this 3.2 must be added onto the 32. That's why we end up getting 35.2. So this is the diameter, actually. That is the diameter. So in this diameter, we need to divide by 2 to get ourselves a radius. So we're getting a figure of 17.6. But we need to round it off because we can't measure 17.6 on our set square. It then becomes 18. So we're going to measure 18. So we're going to measure 18. Let's get 18. There's 18. So when we drawing the circle of 18, we make sure that the circle does not close, rather there is a gap that is left by this circle, and the circle must be light. You'll notice that there's a gap that I'm talking about, which is this gap here. So you make sure that for the nut that circle is left. That gap is left like that. Now we spoke about the across flats. This is the flat and that is the flat. How do we draw across flats? There's a formula for that as well. It is known as AF, across flat, which is equal to, in this case, M times 1.5. Remember, the M is for the nut size. The nut size, then the thread size, it says 32 times 1.5, which gives us 48. The 48 is our diameter. We divide by 2 to get 24. And this is our radius. That's for our across flats. So we're getting 24. So we're going to measure 24 in this case here. We're going to measure 24. And that's 24. So you're going to draw our circle, which needs to be light again. A light circle. A light circle. A light circle, which is radius 24. That's our light circle. Remember, once again, we're saying that this is our across flat. So we're going to draw a vertical line here and a vertical line here. These two sides are therefore at an angle. All right, so I'm going to take this one away. So we're going to draw a light line which is a tangent and a light line here which is also a tangent. So that is our across flats. So on top here, I'm going to use my 30-degree set square to draw another tangent, but this one then becomes dark right away. You'll notice that this line touches the circle only at one point. Okay, so I'm going to rotate and do the same thing at the bottom here at 30-degree angle, which becomes a tangent. I stop on the center line and I stop on my vertical line, which is flat. Then I will then draw this line dark. So half of my nut is completely done, which is now there's my tangent again. I'm going to draw this line dark. All this is going to touch on the center line, it connects with that. Now I need to draw the bottom line. Now all I need to do is draw the bottom line. The bottom line, there's my tangent there. It is going to touch there on the center line. That becomes dark. And then I draw this line here that becomes dark. So that you'll notice that now every line that I've drawn here is dark, but they are tangent onto the circle. So basically this is what it is looking like. Let's put it there. That's what it looks like. So what we have here is this flat, which is that flat. It is this line here, which is this is 30 degrees, this surface, and that is also 30 degrees. That becomes flat. Likewise, these two are 30 degrees. Inside here, it's threads. So if we put this at an angle for you to see, this thread here has its depth, which is why it says D. This line, circle rather, does not touch. It leaves a gap, but that line is now closed and it is drawn dark. So that's how we construct a nut.